Ready for this
From
weather
Merlin's
to
End?
flip.
It
is what it is.
Please tell me you have like a fast motorcycles or a bike with luscious
And I
lines.
called on those because the board members asked me.
Fast? I don't go fast.
And the other piece of it.
All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Regular board meeting, May 1st, 2023. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Sterling?
Here.
Mr. Thompson?
Here.
Mrs. Brogan?
Here.
Mrs. Ranieri?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Jill Brogan?
Here.
Mrs. Meeks here.
Chris Arduino, recording secretary.
Troy Yarbrough, Superintendent.
Shelley Wagner, Human Resources.
Michelle, curriculum and instruction.
Josh Duran, Business and Operations.
All right, you guys stand for the pledge. And Sharon, can you do this off?
I pledge
Thank you, Sharon. Can I get a motion for approval of the agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mrs. Brogan?
Aye.
Mrs. Ranieri?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Jill Brogan?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye. Dr. Troy Yarbrough.
All right, thank you, sir. So the mission of the Harlem Consolidated School District as a vital part of the community is to help diverse learners realize their limited potential by providing an educational program dedicated to academic excellence and the development of strong character in a safe and respectful learning environment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Jason, that's correct, there's no awards tonight? All right, I can move to the 15th. Can I get a motion to approve the regular and closed minutes of April 24th, 2023?
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Brogan?
Aye.
Mrs. Ranieri?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Jill Brogan?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Okay, turning it over to comments from the community. We have one, and that is gonna be Laura Austin.
It's never gets any easier. Don't start my time yet, okay, please. I want to say one quick thing before I start, and I just want to thank all the board members exiting and current and oncoming, onboarding board members. I just want to thank everybody for what you do, because I know it's not an easy job. Okay, so during the school board campaign, the thing that stood out most was the unprofessional conduct exhibited by some candidates. There were accusations made about hate, yet the only hate witnessed was done by the accusers. Also, there were personal attacks on social media, which is displayed on campaign pages. If a child doesn't like someone or disagrees with someone, would we instruct the child to target the person on social media, post screenshots, or make hateful comments? Of course not, because that would be considered bullying. Instead, we might tell the child to ignore it, or encourage the child to personally contact the source to work it out, versus making assumptions based off hearsay or snippets of information. We may not all agree on every topic, but there is still a right and wrong way to handle things. We can still be respectful and kind, just like we would teach our children. We need to come to a place where we can at least listen to one another and try to gain some common ground. Despite our differences, we all want what's best for our children. With that, we need to be mindful of the example we set, because our children are watching. Based on what took place during the campaign, there are now students and parents who do not feel safe coming to board members with concerns. No one should have to worry that they'll be labeled phobic or racist if they raise a concern, or worry their concern won't be taken seriously or kept confidential. Which leads me to my next point. Last year, the book Lawn Boy by Jonathan Evison was one of the books brought to the board's attention for containing sexually explicit content. Are you aware this book is recommended in the April edition of Harlem Equity Newsletter? Not only is this book recommended, but the description is misleading, making it sound completely harmless. However, even the author is quoted stating the book is meant for adults. The concern about this book has nothing to do with sexual orientation and everything to do with sexually explicit content, mature topics, and profanity. It is not okay that this book, intended for adults, is in the school library, much less being promoted, especially after a concern was raised. Which brings me back to the point I made, that students and parents should not have to worry that their concerns won't be taken seriously. My last point pertains to the paraphernalia displayed inside and outside of Harlem schools. Harlem talks about inclusivity and equity. However, flying flags and displaying banners which cater only to specific groups is not inclusive or equitable. I'm asking the board to make changes to promote true inclusivity and encompass all our district. The U.S., Illinois, and Husky flags represent everyone and help instill pride for our country, our state, and our school and all our children. Now more than ever, our kids need their hearts reignited with that sense of school spirit and Husky's pride. Thank you.
Thank you. Turning it over to administrative reports. Dr. Tinker.
Thank you. I have a couple of items this evening, but first, for informational purposes only, one of the things that Mr. Smith asked me to share is what was discussed about our last SIP day, because people shared, how we spent that day, because, well, part of our focus has been our school improvement plans throughout this whole year at the Ed Committee. And this is not an exhaustive list, this is just some of the highlights. So Olson Park spent time with Heidi LaFleur and focusing on students who have experienced trauma and other social emotional needs. They also spent a lot of time digging into some of their ELA materials. The high school looked at curriculum for subtractions and enhancements and making sure that we had good vertical and horizontal articulation. Rock Cut reached out to their staff and asked for some input, what they wanted to see, and they looked at the science of reading by literacy, mindfulness, and restorative practices. Love Sport Park also worked with Heidi LaFleur, and then spent some time reflecting on the information in teams, considering what support students could use, and then considered additional strategies that they would like to focus on next year. Life Skills also spent time on differentiation within the classroom. Windsor had Brian Medler, which we brought forward to the group, and on building relationships for disruptive and unmotivated or difficult students. They followed up with some coaching cycles and did some problem solving with them. McChesney also focused on some webinars with Heidi LaFleur, but we were fortunate a couple groups were able to have her in person. Today was a webinar. And then Marquette focused on the science of reading and letters training, as well as some teacher writing or wellness. The middle school had effective teams and did some ALICE procedures and end of the year curriculum adjustments. Maple, effects of trauma on students, the functions of behavior, verbal de-escalation, and looked at behavior data. Ralston did some work on students who are living in poverty, as well as iReady pre and post tests. Parker Center spent some time on all four of their priorities, but then spent some specific time on sight words and ways to increase parent involvement. So we had quite a few discussions about some of the strengths of each of those days. How Mr. Smith got us through that whole entire PowerPoint or all those topics, I don't know, but it was really nice to hear how we utilized those days. Also, as part of that, we went over some possible changes to the behavior matrix. We talked about the fact that what we wanted to try to do was make sure that whatever codes were available in the secondary one was also available at the elementary. We talked about the fact that at the elementary level, there's more options because of the fact that you're teaching behaviors. You also have students who may be on behavior intervention plans, and so we need to have that room for the teaching and the possible situations and how each situation is looked at individually. We also talked about the fact that at our behavior committee meetings as a group, we've been putting scenarios out there and then talking about how would you code this and then what possible or consequences would you give and why. So trying to make sure that we're all on the same page because we're having so many elementary buildings, you don't want two very different, the same situation be coded two very different ways. Otherwise, as we look at our behavior data, it doesn't give us a true picture. So one of the things that we noticed was that horseplay is not an option at the elementary, which we felt like the behaviors of horseplay was more common there than even at the secondary. And right now, because we don't have horseplay, we're often using dangerous behavior slash physical aggression, which isn't necessarily a true picture of the behaviors. So that's why the elementary is asking to add horseplay. As far as verbal assault to staff, we hope that that doesn't occur. However, if it does, we want to code it what it is and not say that it is language to staff, because language to staff and verbal assault are two different offenses, and so we wanted to make sure that that showed the way it was. And then at the elementary, they had LC, which was for lying and cheating, and for plagiarism and academic dishonesty is PAD, and so we wanted to make sure that we're using the same codes all the way through. And to actually split dangerous behavior and physical aggression, because they aren't two of the same, but they're being coded currently in one category and differentiating those behaviors. So what I am asking for this evening is board approval on those changes.
Question,
Yes.
for, you said you have, at the behavioral meeting, you guys give out examples of how would you code this or whatever. Why aren't those examples baked in? Say, this is if you do this, this is a minor violation. If you do this action, it is a major violation.
A big part of it has to do with age, and then also because you have to look at every situation differently. And like I was saying, with the fact that some students may have a behavior plan, we need to make sure that we're following that behavior plan.
And if they had that behavior plan and that wording was in there, you wouldn't be able to follow it because you'd have to go by policy to what that is.
You would still want to follow the behavior plan, but it gives you some wiggle room as you may be developing a behavior plan for a student. And it's really hard to define every specific situation. And on top of it, as we've been working with individuals coming in, teaching us about trauma, et cetera, they talk about it. You really shouldn't have something so concrete, step 1, step 2, step 3, that you really need to work with that student. Because sometimes maybe you've worked your way through and they've gone a period of time where, especially at the elementaries, the behaviors, you don't see them anymore. So when they do it again, you don't want to move all the way over here. It's kind of having the opportunity to teach again in order to move forward.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then my final item this evening is the district consolidated plan. So the district consolidated plan lines all of our grants with our school improvement, or our long-range plan. So we're fortunate having a district long-range plan, so as we spend our funds, we make sure that it is aligning to the vision and the mission and the long-range plan of the district.
Thank you.
So I am also asking for approval of that.
Sorry, I'm turning my phone off.
And that's only 50 pages, Mr. Sterling. Riveting reading.
Yeah, I know. You, what's your favorite page?
42. Almost to the end.
Oh, that's a cliffhanger. Dr. Wagner.
Good evening. I have a personnel agenda. This evening, no addendum. We have 3 transfers, 5 employments, 4 resignations, and 2 requests from the Federation Bank. That's it for me. So,
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Going over to action items. Can I get a motion to approve behavior matrix changes as recommended?
Motion?
Second.
Mrs. Brogan?
Aye.
Mrs. Manieri?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Jill Brogan? Aye. Mrs. Weeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
10B, can I get a motion to approve district consolidated plan?
Motion.
Second. Mrs. Ranieri?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Jill Brogan?
Aye.
Mrs. Weeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mrs. Brogan?
Aye.
10C, can I get a motion to approve personal agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Joe Brogan?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
All right,
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mrs. Brogan?
Aye.
Mrs. Ranieri?
Aye.
all right. Announcements and discussion. Jill, I believe you had something you want to say?
Yeah. I broke my pen. To the community, I wanted to say thank you for allowing me to serve these past 4 years. It has been a great honor. I have learned so much. To my fellow board members and the administration, we've made great progress for our staff and our students. I hope to see that continue. I appreciate you and will miss each and every one of you. To the new board members, each and every student is an individual with different needs to succeed. It is your job to continue fighting to meet these needs. Every one of our students deserve to be exactly who they are, to be confident, to be proud, to know they matter. You don't have the right to take that away. Since there seems to be some confusion on why a hate party flag isn't allowed, but the banner the MSU students put up is, that's supporting marginalized students, if we as adults don't know the difference between a hate group and a banner representing love, empathy, and support to marginalized students, I am truly concerned. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Said it all last week.
Okay. With that, I need a motion to adjourn Sandy Day.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, will each one of the former board members take your nameplates out of the name? Yep. You can take those with you.
Oh, take them with you?
Yeah.
Bye. I had to remember.
Thank you for everything, Jill.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Situation.
Okay, I would now like to call order the organizational meeting to order. Start with roll call. Mr. Thompson,
Here.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Mrs. Meeks, here.
Chris Arduino, recording secretary.
Troy Yarbrough, superintendent.
Shelley Wagner, human resources.
Michelle Herb, curriculum and instruction.
Josh Rand, business and operations.
Now I'm gonna give the oath, if I can have the new board members come up to the front. Excuse me, I'm sorry, excuse me. I'll say we got more.
Please. There's one available.
You got it.
No. Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
All right hand. Raise your hand. And then if you could each state your name.
Rebecca Carlson.
I, Michael Sterling.
Megan Hastings.
Okay, and then repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the Board of Education of Harlem School District 122.
Michael Sterling, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of a member of the Board of Education of Harlem School District 122.
And in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
In accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the laws of the state of Illinois to do the best of my ability.
and the laws of the state of Illinois to do the best of my ability.
I further swear that I shall respect taxpayers' interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district assets.
I further swear that I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district assets.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board,
While respecting the privacy of students and employees.
while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority and as an individual, and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting.
I shall abide by the major decision of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in the decisions such as ethical and constructive channels.
As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set course for the Harlem School District 122.
I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Harlem School District 122.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of students' achievement in all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with the state law.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement in all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law.
I shall serve as an educator, key advocate on behalf of the students in our community schools.
I shall serve as an education key advocate on behalf of students in our community schools.
To advance the vision for Harlem School District 122.
To advance the vision for Harlem School District 122.
And I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created.
I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Great. Congratulations.
All right, you guys have a seat.
Pick a seat
Congrats, everyone.
that's available, and I'm gonna pass out a few things.
Good job,
You
Evelyn.
want to, Larry, you want to sit in your seat?
Congrats.
Yeah, somebody can have this seat if they want. You'd have to sit next to Josh.
And all the financial numbers.
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations. You don't have to sit here if you don't want.
No, I'm looking forward to it, truly.
I did it
Try
up.
doing it with Clive.
Stop it.
That was word by word. It was, there was no respect. It was just, all right, monkey see, monkey do on that one.
Maybe Aaron and Rebecca. And then Aaron and Rebecca. And here are
I got a copy of the agenda.
I do have some other items after the meeting.
Thank you.
There may be slight discrepancies or notes, so they just get accurate the new dismissal files.
Computer already kicked me out.
Yes, it does.
This,
IT's really old.
Okay.
Okay. You still up?
Yes. We need to start the nominations for program. And then it's that president's.
So do you guys understand?
Oh, wait, she's secretary.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now's the time for nominations for President Pro Tem and Secretary Pro Tem. So we will start our election of officers after that. So we need to nominate a person for
Pro Tem?
President Pro Tem to run the meeting.
Yep, this is just to run the meeting to do the vote. Nominate myself?
Okay?
No,
What's that?
because
This is just for Pro Tem to
This
do the
is-
vote.
okay, all right.
Yeah, I think the agenda's slightly off with what you're calling
Well-
out, it's just Mike Sterling already.
Nominations
Yes, I know.
for President and Secretary
That's what I was,
Pro Tem.
I had to go up there.
Yeah.
I nominate Evelyn Meeks
You
for
secretary?
secretary.
Pro
For
Tem.
Pro Tem?
Pro Tem,
Secretary Pro Tem, or President Pro Tem, Secretary.
secretary.
Okay, the nomination for President Pro Tem was Mike Sterling. Are there any other nominations? Nominations for Secretary Pro Tem, Evelyn Meeks. Any other?
Okay.
So, Mike, you are the President Pro Tem, and Evelyn, you are the Secretary Pro Tem.
Okay, now that we have that, we can now go to electing our officers. No, we got it, President Pro Tem announces official for election
Right.
canvas results, so let's go with that first. Yes, it's right here. All right, so just. Okay, so with the two-year term was Megan Hastings with 1,370 votes. For the four-year positions, Michael Sterling, 2,327, Aaron McKnight, 1,776, and Rebecca Carlson, 1,757. All right, those are read in? Okay. Now, do I have any nominations for president of the school board?
I would like to nominate Mike Sterling for president.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Okay. We're gonna take a vote, or there's no other nominations? How does that work?
There are no other nominations, so
Okay,
we all agree that Mike Sterling is.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay, thank you, guys. Vice president of the school board.
I nominate Kurt Thompson.
Are there any other nominations for vice president?
I nominate Evelyn Meeks for vice president.
Okay, we have one for Evelyn Meeks, we have one for Kurt Thompson. We'll take a vote. Mary's,
As many, as
Yeah, say it
many
three
are in
times.
favor, yeah, of the office of vice president.
say that again?
As many are as in favor for the office of vice president, say aye.
For who?
as many are as in favor for the office of Vice President, Kurt Thompson.
Say aye.
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 Okay, ayes have it for Kurt Thompson.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
The office of Secretary of the School Board, I would like to nominate Evelyn Meeks. Is there any other nominations?
Can I nominate Rebecca Carlson?
Yes, you can.
I would like to nominate Rebecca Carlson.
Okay, we have 2 nominations. As many are in favor for Rebecca Carlson for the office of Secretary of the School Board?
Aye.
As many that in favor for Evelyn Meeks for the office of Secretary of the School Board, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Evelyn Meeks, Secretary of the School.
Thank you.
All right. Now, election is closed and the recording secretary announces the newly elected officers.
I guess that's me. President of the school board is Mike Sterling. Vice President of the school board is Kurt Thompson. Secretary of the school board is Evelyn Meeks.
Yes, I can do that back.
Congratulations.
Okay. Approve 2023 board meeting and committee dates and times. As of right now, do we have any reservations for the current dates and times that we have for the previous boards? Or for the previous meetings for these different committees? No?
So when you say as of right now, you're leaving that open to,
I'm like, your consideration for different times,
I don't
different
have
dates?
any different times right now.
So that would be a no?
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as I know that it's still as of right now.
Do we all know the days and times? Do everyone
Yeah, you can say, is anyone aware of the current days and time for the new members?
I was just gonna ask that question.
I mean, we can pull up the,
We can pull up the district calendar.
pull up the calendar as well.
I think it'll be okay.
This is a copy of the dates.
Oh, look at that. There's a sheet of paper for everything. There, take a gander.
What, I got them. What if we're assigned to, we don't know if we're assigned to a committee and there might be a conflict? Loves Parks Spring Sing is Thursday.
See,
Social
that's why I
equity.
said as of now.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, yeah,
Thanks, Dan.
so.
Full circle. Yeah, they will be just chairs, so those committees can still be chaired by, or have another board member in place, just to have enough to have quorum.
Okay,
So even if you don't miss, if you miss one committee, one assignment or a meeting, dates, times, changes, or all that, so it's pretty flexible.
We'll just
Okay.
beg you to come
Alright.
to another one.
Yes.
yeah,
Josh knows.
All right, so, Business Service Committee. I would like to appoint Kurt Thompson, the chair of the Business Service Committee, with the sub-chair of Aaron McKnight. Education Committee, I would like to have Larry Smith head the Education Committee with the sub-chair of Rebecca Carlson.
Is this as of now?
Currently, like literally have it in
Not
front
last
of you.
week, though.
Right, exactly.
Not
Well,
retroactive.
the meetings start with July, I think,
Yes,
Yeah.
but
starting with July meeting.
it's, as every committee is available to every board member, it can start as soon as. The Equity and Social Justice Committee would be headed by Evelyn Meeks. The Policy Committee, I would like to head and have the second chair be Megan Hastings. Approval of the annual organization action items.
Motion and a second for these? Is that how that works?
Yes.
You're gonna vote on all of these.
Yeah, so we're gonna be going down the list. This is gonna be.
This is your 17, A through D at this point?
Yes.
So, right, make a motion on.
Yes, I want to make a motion to approve establishment of current board policy as of 2023, 2024, board policies until said policies are changed by the board.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Sterling, excuse me, you can vote on all of these annual items as one, like 18A through 18S.
I motion to do that.
Yeah.
So we're starting here to here, right? So dates and times,
I wanted
so
to go
16, and then we're gonna
each
go
one.
through 17.
All right, I'll say it this way. This is an easier way. Can you guys look through 18A through 18S? If there is one that you would like to not, would like to discuss. If not, speak now or forever hold your peace.
These are pretty much standard things that we do every year. Yeah. Okay, as long as they.
Just gonna give them the option to.
Question?
Yes.
Explain to a naive person what a true hearing officer is, what that duty is.
Good question.
Okay. Would you like to take that, Trev?
So our hearing officer is someone who, if a parent has a question or concern about a referral, they would contact the hearing officer, and the hearing officer would have a hearing and go through the findings.
A referral being like going to the principal, going to the, yes.
Disciplinary action.
Yep, disciplinary action, yeah.
And the people that are on there as the hearing officers, those first three, how long have they been in that position?
2 years, is it? Been 2 years?
I say it was
Yeah.
two
Yeah,
now.
second year for.
2 years.
It's their second year? Yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Can I ask another naive question?
You can ask as many as you like.
18G says approved food nutritional hearing officers. Can I ask what would be a disciplinary referral for a food nutritional?
So that's if someone were to request a free and reduced status. This is a little different because we're CEP and there's not meals anymore. So back before that, if someone applied for free and reduced and was denied, they could like appeal that. And it's all legal policy process.
So might there be a need for it anymore? Would there be any
Well, this may
place where a
expire.
hearing officer is needed for that?
So people most people direct cert through that. We still could, if you don't direct cert with the state, there's a policy performed to get your fees waived. So I don't know if it would fall into just meals or fees. I have to check that, but no, we haven't had one of these in maybe ever. So
Real quick, so CP, is there anything you want to add to that? Or that's good? Josh usually is on point, I just we got legal here, so.
No, he's good. Actually, all of these items on here, all these under 18, the board is a continuing legal entity. You don't need to re-approve all these things just because the members change.
Okay.
It's not even necessary to approve anything.
I don't think we did this when I came on.
yeah, we've done it every
Did we?
round.
All right, we'll blame it on nerves from 2 years ago. Not my memory.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
It says approved district bullying policy. I think all of us have, is that something that can be amended and changed
Yeah,
later on down the road?
18A. All you have to do is reread 18A for any of these policies.
Got it. That was a good one.
Yes, so yeah, no, all these policies, we just basically approve, but board policies until said policies are changed by the board, so that's what we do on a daily basis, a weekly basis. With that, can I get a motion to approve 18A through 18S?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Nay.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Weeks? Aye.
Okay. With that, welcome to the Harlem School Board. Look forward to working with each and every one of you. You guys all bring something different to the table, and Harlem will be better for it, so thank you guys.
Motion.
Second, to adjourn.
Is he always the first?
Who was the
Or is that
second?
a yes?
You gotta wait till I get done to put you in the motion.
First day.
So, do we have a motion?
Larry.
Second.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mrs. Carlson,
Yes.
Mrs. Hasty,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. McKnight,
Yes.
Mrs. Meeks, aye, Mr. Sterling.
All right. Thank you, guys. Meeting's adjourned.
Thanks, guys.
Just as a note, the seating can be arranged at the next meeting.